Are you happy chatting with me?
No, I'm not. I'm a chatbot, not a therapist.
Thanks, goodbye.
No problem. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
So as you saw, I made Alexa a bit sarcastic. It is fun to talk to her. It's always a pleasure now. And so I use ChatGPT with Marv, the sarcastic chatbot, but there are a lot of more features that you can use from ChatGPT, which we are going to go through it, but we are not going. It's the video is not about them. I'm going to show you how to work with Alexa skill kit and how to integrate the OpenAI API into it. So let's get started. So the easiest way to start with the skills from Alexa is to use the Ask CLI. So here's the link. I will put the link also in the description. Just go through the documentation to install the Ask CLI. I have already done that. So with this you can create a new project and so on. The next thing that you're going to need is the Alexa extension on VS Code. What it does is it will bind to your Amazon development account, and you can see your skills, test them, open them into inside the development console on the on Alexa Dev Console, and you can actually just I have it here like Alexa Skills Kit toolkit. With that being said, I'm just going to create my project. So I'm going to create a new directory. I'm going to call it YouTube Alexa. And I'm going to navigate here. And I'm going to say ask new, which will create me a new skill. So I want it to be with Node.js. You can also go on with the other ones. I'm doing it with Node.js because the OpenAI API is also, they do also have a NPM package. And we want to host it on Alexa. Amazon on the development console, apparently for Alexa, they will give you a free tier with a limited amount of usage. Since we are just going to use it for development and prank, maybe. Scratch that one. Then the first one is sounds like a good choice because it will also take care of deploying it, and it will run a workflow for building your code and then deploying it to Alexa. So now I'm going to select the EU West region, and the skill name is YouTube skill. And so the skill name is not the name that you're going to tell Alexa to open your skill. It's different. It is just the name that appears on the market or on the Alexa app on your phone. We are going to check how you can do the invocation name, where you can change the invocation name. So the folder name is fine, YouTube skill is okay, and now it is creating the skill for me.
A few moments later.
See, so as you see, the skill is now created successfully. Just navigate to the folder that it creates, and here it is. So now if you open the Alexa menu, it has more options because now it has a skill opened. You can deploy the skill, which is just basically git add, git commit, and git push, so you can. So basically it's better that if you want to do it on the UI, just open the console on the Alexa development console, but I'm going to go through the files to show you what is there. So the first thing that you need to notice is the skill package. Under the skill package, there's a skill JSON, which just is the information that you just entered when you were creating your skill. And the next one is the interaction models, which is the one that we are going to work with. So as I told you, the YouTube skill that I have entered as the skill name is not the name that I'm going to call for when I'm going to ask Alexa to open the skill for me. So you need to change this. This is the invocation name. This is how you're gonna invoke this skill. And there are different launch methods for Alexa to take care of this invocation. For example, when you tell Alexa open this skill or ask this skill, like ask Marv GPT or so. And there is some conventions for this. And one of the most important one is that it cannot be one word. So for example, you cannot say Marv or you cannot say ChatGPT. That's why I just changed it to Marv GPT. You can also use the same. The rest we will go through later. We are going to get back to this. But for now, let's go see where is the actual code. So if you open Lambda, and as you already know, this is a function that runs on OBS. And so this is the file that Alexa runs in order to run your skill. So this is the export, these are the handlers. So basically what is here is like your controllers or like your endpoint handlers, however you are going to put it. Like when you are working with Express.js or you're working with Laravel, your routers, or whatever is out there, you're going to handle a request somehow with the function. So this one is the one that will be ran at the beginning. So this is the one that Alexa uses to launch the skill. But it will skip this if you, for example, you launch the skill like this, like Alexa ask ChatGPT what time is it? So it will no longer matches the launch request. It will go on and then match it with one of these intent handlers. But if you, for example, say open YouTube skill, it will just check if it's a launch request. It will detect it as a launch request, and then it runs the handler. Now in the handler you can put whatever you like. And this reprompt is, so by default, I would suggest that you download the Alexa app on your phone and give it a try. So as soon as you create this skill and you have bound it to your Alexa development account, it will appear under your Alexa skills under the development tab. So what pre-prompt here means, so when you're gonna try it, when you open the skill, it will ask you this, Alexa will ask you this, and then it will re-prompt, so this will wait for an answer. In our case, we won't need it that much, but I have just left it there because it's fine. We're just here to see how it works. And the rest of these are how Alexa will handle after the launch has happened. So for example, if you also say, ask this skill this, it will launch it, but without running this part, and then it will not go out. Like if you have like a loop or you have a reprompt or something here, it will not get out, and then it will repeat itself. So it will match again and then will come back. If it doesn't match to any of the intents in here, it will go to the fallback intent handler, and then will just, like, let's say when we are doing like normal coding, we say like it will print this in the console, but here Alexa will say whatever you wanted to say when there's a fallback intent handler is triggered. So as you see, this is a normal like Node.js or JavaScript code, and this is where you can actually add OpenAI API. So I guess let's get into the OpenAI API and see how can we go further. So as you visit the ChatGPT's introduction website, you can go and find the examples. So under developers, examples, you can find everything that this language model offers. So most of them, the endpoint is the same. So how you're going to build your endpoint is the same. The request is the same. The prompt is always different. So what we are looking for is Marv, the sarcastic chatbot, and the prompt looks like this. So let's actually go and play around with the prompt a little bit and see how will it work. So it has also the information of the settings regarding the request. As you see, this is like identical to here. And let's open the playground. So this prompt is too long. I think maybe it is intentional. Maybe it has more. It has better results, but I have found that I can also reduce it to this. Marv is a chatbot with sarcastic responses. So let me show you one thing. So basically, if you remove this part and say, what time is it? It will answer normally. So this is like a normal answer. Now, if you want the psychopathic answer, you need to put the first line back, this one, and then ask again, what time is it? And let's see what will he answer. 5 o'clock somewhere. So what's up, buddy? Well, honestly, it is fun. It's going to have, you're going to have a lot of fun when you're playing around with it. I don't know about the other accounts that people are like opening right now. This account that I have opened like a while ago when ChatGPT was out. So it has a tutorial on it. It has a tutorial account on it. So that's why I can like try it out and so on. And I think this is the, yeah, so you need to get your API key. So I have already got my API key. This is the API key that I'm using. I have created one today because I accidentally pushed the other one that I had into GitHub, and it got me a mail that you have your API key exposed on GitHub, so we have killed it. So that's why I have created a new one, but that's good for safety. So let's see now how can we add this into our application. So as you saw, it is written also with Node.js. It has a package for Node.js, and this means that I can simply go to npm, and then I've already been there, so I can get the OpenAI package, do like copy this, and then go back to my code. And so I need to go under Lambda folder and then say npm I OpenAI. And this is like normal Node.js application. It has the versions like normal package.json. Now OpenAI is added here too. So I have already done this. So what I normally do, so I have also created a Medium article based on this, which I'm going to right now get the code from. Let's find it. So this is the Marv. So this is the Marv class. I'm going to also put the link of this post into the description, and also the repository for the source code. So this is Marv.js. I'm going to add this. Okay. This is where you are going to add your API key. So when you say like new Marv, it will create a new OpenAI API object. And then when you say marv.ask, it has an asynchronous method to do the request. And then I have realized that sometimes apparently it returns a a question mark or an exclamation mark at the beginning of the sentence, and Alexa will say it. So I try to like ignore it, like remove it. But it is fine if you also leave it too. It's just it is now yours. You can just do whatever you want with it. And as you see, when I get the message, I write the prompt that I want, go to the new line, and then put the message here. Now this is the message that I'm going to either read from Alexa, or it's just like a hard-coded string that I'm going to put there. Now let's see how can we actually do the handling. Where does this message coming from? Let's go create a new intent. So under the skill package, interaction models, custom enus JSON, depends on the locale that you have chosen. These are the intents list. As you see, there is already our hello world intent. We don't really need it, so I'm going to get rid of this, and then I'm going to create a new one. The name, I'm going to name it Marv intent, and the slots, I'm going to explain the slots quickly right now, and the samples. The samples, so when you say something to Alexa, it will match it against the samples, like if it can select this intent for you. If it doesn't match it with anything, then it will go to the fallback intent. So for example, let's say if you put hi Marv here, then it will, when you say hi Marv, it will go match it here. But the thing is that we are going to accept any sentences, so we need a variable, so it cannot be hard-coded. For that, we are going to need the slots. The slots are like variables. And then what you can do is like you can name your slot, which is like naming a variable. And in my case, it's like the message. You can name it prompt or something. And as it is a variable, it has a type. It has an Amazon type. And you can say Amazon dot this is uppercase Amazon dot person. So why person? Apparently before they had a type called literal, and literal has been the type where you could put anything there, so it could be like any values, because they have like date times, they accept time and so on. So you can say Alexa, like put, like set an alarm at this time, like the alarm skill on it. And there is another type called search query. I have first used this one. If you use search query, you cannot say, for example, match to just this variable, like nothing following it or preceding it. You cannot do that. It always needs to, for example, say hi something, or like it needs to proceed with something or followed by something. Instead, if you use person type, you can just say message, and then this way it will like match with the sample, and then we'll select the Marv intent, and then you can now go on. So let's now code it. So let's add the handler for it. So as you see, we already have the hello world handler, and we are going to, let's just change here. So what happens here is that we say the request type is intent request, name of the intent is Marv intent. So this means that when Alexa comes and says, okay, I think it is like a message, like it is the variable that you expected, so it's a Marv intent. It will put it into this request envelope and send it to this index.js, and then I think it's like normally it will check it against all of your intents, and then any of them that has the can handle to true, it will try that one. So I think it is also an ordering thing too. So for example, like if you have had like in your stop or cancel, so as you see, the cancel handler is the same. If you have like set added samples to your goodbye, like in stop intent or cancel intent, you have added samples like goodbye or thanks, I'm fine, or like finish it or something like that. And this is happening after your Marv intent, then the Marv intent will always take place, because it is like the first one that matches, and then it will take place there. But now let's rename this too. And since we have renamed this, we are going to go here. So this is where you register your handlers. And let's check it out a bit. So this is a Marv intent handler, and now here we go. So here this is where we have to see what was our message, like what did the user say. So this is like const message and something, so we need to get the slot from something. So you can actually, so I did so as I did this, so let me see if I can show you this. If I can go here, I can't because I have to do this. So I'm going to show you. For me, I mostly won't go through the documentation. There's a documentation there, but I don't find it as appealing as it should be. Actually, I find the ChatGPT's documentation much more helpful and more much easier and modern, like every other normal documentations at the moment. But Alexa's documentation is not that much fluent. So what I do normally is you can just go into the code, and the code is there, and then say this is get the slot, and this is the slot value, we want this one. So what happens is that I want to say const message is Alexa get slot value, and then I have the handler, I have handler input, which is I'm receiving it from here, and then I know already that it has a request enveloped property, and I want to get the message. So this is how I'm going to receive the message, and from here it's actually pretty simple. So you say you create a new instance of Marv, and you say speak out is, so just to note out, so notice that ask from the Marv class is an async function, so we are going to need to add an async here, and this is not right. So const speak out Marv that ask our message, the message that we received, and this is like a wait, and this will just return us the string that we wanted, and this we won't need anymore. I'm putting it into the wrong, so doesn't matter. So we just take this, and we are going to need to put it here. Yes. And this also needs to be async, and now it should be fine. So this is a speak out, so the speak out will be here, and that's it. So if you want to also wait for an answer, you can add a reprompt. This means that Alexa will wait for you for an answer, and then it will match it to the intents, so it will not go out after it said something. But you don't necessarily need to configure it here. If you go to your Alexa app, to your Alexa device, you can say keep the session open. It will keep the session open after it is done with answering you with something until you say something else, and if not, after some time, it will just time out, and then it will go out. So you can leave it commented, and that's it. So what you can do now is that you can say here git add git commit m init git push, and now let's actually go to the console and see what is happening. So this is not the skill that I want. Let's go to the skill. This is the YouTube skill that we want. So this is the code. Let me check the code. So there is a mismatch in the version. So it still has the hello world, and it says the master branch of your skill is ahead of the dev branch, the dev version. To re-enable the code editor, you need to use the ask CLI to merge the remote master branch to branch and push. So I mostly just do this: git checkout dev and git merge master. I haven't used the ask CLI for this. It won't push, but if I now go to merge checkout master, and now if I try to refresh this, check. Yeah, now we are good. So now our code is there, Marv intent handler. As you see, it is already deploying it, and actually we can check it now, but we can't because you need to put the API an API key here. But that's it about the video. So you can go much further and be more creative. For example, you can do all of this with Marv, and so on any cases it's going to answer you sarcastically, but you can also go on and use the other features from ChatGPT. So they have a variety of different prompts which you can use, and I suggest you first go on and then check it on your own on like a normal chat app, like, or either inside it or create your own. So you figure out the code and then put it into Alexa, because then if you put it to Alexa you have to always wait until it deploys and so on. But you can just create a View app or something and do a fetch request against the API and then see what will happen. Yeah, that's it for the video, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. This was interesting to do, and I think I'm going to go explore further, like what else we can do with ChatGPT models, and how can we benefit from it. Have fun coding, as I always say, and until next time.